Pelican State. We outside. We in the booth where the dirt fly high. Chalk line, bright sun, ball up in the sky. From Shreveport down to that Gulf Coast sand. We rolling through the state with a glove in our hand. Let's go! Cleats on fire when they hit that field. Got a cannon in the arm that swings so real. If you hustle every inning, it's your time. Rising stars on deck, get in line. Pelican State rising stars. We lit all-star dreams. Whole team going hit. 446 rolling through yo-yo. Who out there playing that all-star hard?
And good evening, softball fans, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Pelican Softball Report. And boy, I cannot believe we are getting this close to the end of the regular season, but that's just when things get going here as the Dash for Fresh fires up. And I think where I made the mistake last year was thinking that the Dash for Fresh only started when the regular season was over. My goodness, that thing started somewhere back at the end of May last year, I believe. A lot of softball to get to tonight. You saw our post just a little bit earlier. Probably the game of the day was that one down in Hahnville between Patrick Taylor and Hahnville in that game. 16-inning game, 1-0 in that one. Patrick Taylor scores in the top of the 16th, but it doesn't matter in that. I mean, I guess it does. You certainly want that. But all 16 innings were pitched by Ashton Rogers, their senior, for Patrick Taylor. London Lambert does the same thing for Hahnville. She goes 16 strong on this. Ashton strikes out 34 batters in that game. You heard me right, 34. And we checked the record book. We checked Mac. That's not the most strikeouts in a single extra inning game. That was, I think, 61. But that game went 30 innings. This one went 16. So that's 48 outs possible. And she strikes out 34 of those batters. Then, if that is not enough, she scores the game-winning run. The go-ahead, the run that would eventually be the game winner. And they hold on to win that game 1-0. She's driven in by Pelican State Rising Stars All-Star catcher Leah Godoy. We had her on the show a week ago, and so that was good. We're going to get to a lot of things. Calvary gets back. They start a new streak, one that got ended last night by a very tough West Monroe team. And I don't usually make picks until a little bit later when the playoffs get going. We'll have a big show for you, probably going to last a couple hours next Wednesday night. That's when all the pairings come out. You'll want to see all of that. Yeah, I'm not going to give it away, but I don't know that there's a team playing better than the Lady Rebels of West Monroe right now. When you see what they're doing 1 through 9, I think they're as good as anybody is right now. But that's for another comment and another show. Right now, visiting with our good buddy Tyler Cox. He is the head coach. I'm feeling it. I got the Apaches going on tonight, so let's bring him in. Also, we've got his sophomore sensation, Hallie Sutton, is there with him. So from down here in Central Louisiana up there into Apache Nation, guys, welcome.
Yes, sir. Glad to be here with you.
Uh-oh, can y'all hear me or no?
Yes, sir.
Let's see where they went. I don't know where they went. There he is. I hear you, Coach. Hallie, can you hear us, or are you? There you
Yes,
go.
sir.
There you are. Well, there's nothing like going live, and yeah, there you go. All right. So, Hallie, we'll talk to you a little bit too. Coach, can you hear us?
I got you.
May have to have him log out and log back in. We'll do that. But you can hear us okay, Hallie?
Yes, sir.
Nope, we're going to have them start over. If you guys can just get back in. Yeah, we'll do that and get them to log back in. So West Monroe, speaking of them, West Monroe wins their game. They come down to Alexandria, and they win that game 17-0. Evie West with a couple of more home runs tonight. Let's see if we can get Hallie back on. Hallie, can you hear us?
Yes, sir.
All right, there you go. And, Coach, you got us too?
I got you.
Perfect. I don't know what it is about bringing folks on later. You would think a guy that deals with technology, this is about as bad as a robot field painting robot. It's just difficult.
I agree.
There you go. So let's talk about tonight's game first of all. I don't think it was what either of you wanted when you look at the final score. But this late in the game against a very good Natchitoches Central team, I don't think it's a bad one. So guys, talk to us a little bit about that. Coach, we'll start with you.
Oh yeah, Natchitoches Central is obviously they're a big 5A school. They played well. We played well at the beginning of the game, kind of stuck with them, and then they kind of made some plays there at the end and hit the ball like they were supposed to, and it just fell for them tonight, I think, and just a really good team. Their shortstop is phenomenal. I think we talked about that a while ago.
Peyton Anthony, that's correct.
Yeah, she made some really good plays, and at the end of the day, it is what it is. It's 5A school. We're 1A, and that's what our end of our schedule is stacked with 5A is just to get ready for the playoffs. So that's what we're doing, and we're getting ready to go.
But that's been kind of your season-long thing. You guys have played some tough competition from start to finish. District championship game was certainly a battle, and so you're getting yourself battle-tested for things like that.
That's right. That's what it's all about. When you make your schedule at the beginning of the year, I think that's the hardest thing I do is make a schedule. It's just getting us ready to go deep into the playoffs and making that run at Sulphur and winning the state championship.
Well, Howard, let's bring you into sophomore, and I think I've seen you play, 4, 5, 6 different positions on there. What position don't you play?
I play everywhere.
See, so here's the cool thing about that. You know, what would be neat, Coach, is if she played all 9 spots in one game.
I think she'd probably be against that. She might look at me crazy if I did that.
I most definitely would.
Look, you'd have to start out as the catcher because you don't want to put the gear back on after all of that. But anyway, we'll work on that. I know you guys have a little bigger fish to fry right now as it comes to getting ready for the end of the season on there too. But Hallie, let's talk to you and take me through some of your highlights this season and what it is that you remember so far and some memories from this year.
I've had a lot of really good memories with this being my first year, and I just really want to thank all my teammates and coaching for believing in me. And I really don't think I could do this without Coach Cox and him really pushing me to be the person that I am today. And I think he's really helped me improve my batting and fielding. And I wasn't really a catcher until he pushed me to be that. And I'm glad that's my sport now and my position. And I just really love it.
Look, that's an interesting question because you talked about this as your first year at it too. Now, did you just not play as a freshman, or did you just surely you didn't just pick softball up this year?
No, I came from Lakeside.
Okay.
And so I had to sit out a year.
Gotcha. And before that, you didn't start catching until you got to Glenbrook?
Yes, sir.
Wow. What a great job that you've done of it. You look like you've been a natural at it. What's easier for you, catching or hunting turkeys? I see there above your head. Yeah. Are those both yours?
No.
Okay.
I've never killed a turkey.
All right. But you like to go hunting?
Yes, sir.
There you go. Coach, when you see that type of attitude out of a player, it's like, I didn't ever think about playing this position, but the team needed me there, so here I am. That speaks volumes about someone like Hallie.
Yeah, that's right. We had a conversation at the beginning of the year. Just wasn't really sure what that position was going to be, but I told her it's like anywhere I can put you that we're going to win games, and that's where we need you. That's where I want you to be. And she was all in. She was like, yeah, whatever I got to do to help this team win, and that's what we did.
There's no doubt about it. As a matter of fact, when we were up there for the tournament, I think in one of the games, she was one of our LV5K players of the game, one of the very first ones too.
That's right.
Hits that big home run at the end of it to end one of the games on there. So you're hitting this year. I know you're new to catching on there, but hitting seems like that's something that just comes natural to you.
Yes, sir.
Tell us a little bit about your approach in the plate when you're going up and facing somebody like an Aaron Gidrose like you did tonight.
I really just have to think about it, and I use the strategy yes, yes, no to read a lot of spin, and that has seemed to help me a lot. And whenever I have teammates that are sitting there cheering for me and telling me that I can do it and pushing me, it really helps.
Well, you guys have experienced a lot this season. There's been some rain that's got you. You go all the way back. I seem to remember the pictures of the snow all over the field this year too, which was just a shocker to anybody. So as short of a season as it is, man, you guys have accomplished a lot. You got the district championship. How was that?
The win in the district championship was huge for us. You know, Cedar Creek being a big rival. I think all the girls wanted it. They were talking about it early on, and you know, I kind of told them, let's not talk about it. We got to get to that game before we can get there. But that was a huge thing for us. Cedar Creek's a rival school, so beating them was just big time. And adding the district championship on top of that was huge for us. But like I said, we have a long season ahead and a long road in front of us, and we're going to go do that.
That's the beauty of it too. And now there's so many people that we talked to. And by the way, if you're watching this one at home, hop in. If you've got a comment or a question, this could be your main opportunity to ask Coach Cox a question. And you can put it in there. We'll put it up on there. So if you've got a comment, whether you're watching on Facebook or Twitter or on YouTube, you can leave a message and we'll get it out there to either to the coach or to Hallie. But Hallie, so much is made about district championships are not important because they don't work into the power rankings. And they go, I call that hogwash because I think that it is very important. How much pride do you and your teammates take in knowing that, hey, we're district champs this year?
It definitely helped us a lot this season, and we really needed that. And we went in knowing that we were going to have to battle to make that win.
Well, I can only imagine the atmosphere. I knew how it was at the first of the season. Coach, as you get ready for this week coming up, you guys are, let me see if I can pull up what we're looking at. I want to get that right in front of me, and I don't know where it's at. What do you guys have coming up this week?
So we had Natchitoches Central tonight, obviously.
Right.
And Thursday we have Parkway at Parkway. And then Friday, I believe, is our last home game against Halton. And then the next week, Monday and Tuesday, we have Airline and Northwood.
How much jockeying and moving around is going on? Because I know this part of the season, there's games that change, there's games that drop, there's games that add. Getting ready for that playoff push and those, because I'm telling you, a hundredth of a point can make a big difference whether you're on the road for a playoff game or at home.
That's right. It's there is a lot of movement right now, and it actually started mid-season. You start looking at the teams around us in our division; they're canceling games and doing this. And I ain't gonna lie, we've moved some games and done what we've had to do. But at this point for us, it's all 5A schools. None of them are going to hurt us, but they're all big games that we need to go win. And getting ready for the playoffs, that's the main thing for us. And once you go down the sulfur, it's going to be teams like we're facing right now that we need to go beat and that we can compete with.
Well, I know that you look at positioning. You don't really look at who the teams are because you don't ever want to get caught looking ahead by any means. But you're sitting there, you and Riverside at 1 and 2, but it's more of you think you're far enough ahead. And look, I know you guys don't look to look ahead at all, but 2 is a lot better than 3. Because that's a home game there, but getting that 2 seed, getting top 4 and staying top 4 is huge. And it looks like if you keep playing the way that you've been playing, you should stay in that top 4.
That's right. If we do what we're supposed to do, win the games we're supposed to win, we're going to be where we want to be. Haven't really. I look at it. Obviously, I look at it every night when it goes at 12 o'clock. I'm on there looking, but. Staying in the top 4, yeah, it's a huge deal to stay at home. We're not really, we haven't been on the road much this year, so I really kind of like to be at home, and hopefully we stay there, and I think we will. We're going to keep playing well. The girls are ready to go, and this week was just tough, just being on spring break. We've been on spring break for 2 weeks, it seems like, but just a tough week with the district championship and all that stuff on hand, and then a tough one tonight, which we battled well, and I like the performance we had, but we're going to keep getting ready, and we're going to stay where we need to stay at.
Look, it looks like it. Hallie, I want to ask you a question too. You've got the lone senior on your team, Gabby Brown. As a sophomore, as a younger player, how has it been playing for somebody that has first of all, the ability that she has, but also the character and the drive and that senior leadership? What are you learning from her that's going to lead you on into the future as you get to become one of the upperclassmen?
I'm learning a lot from her as being a good teammate and pushing others like she does me. I've always seen her as a sister, and she pushes me like a lot. And I have learned a lot of stuff from her.
Well, that's you could tell that she was in a slump a little bit early at the very first part of the season. I think turned it around when she hit that one that's probably still going. That coach, you might have thought was fair, and unfortunately it was called foul. You remember the one I'm talking about? I know you do. It's me. I bring that stuff up. That's just that's one of those things. But every time, but it's the ability. And I want to point that out to Hallie is that it's just the ability to fight through that and not get yourself down, but continue to work on it. And that seems to be, Hallie, what your team is based off of. You don't let nobody on that team lets anybody else get down.
Mm-mm. We're all there for each other through the whole thing and bring each other up whenever we all need it.
What's been one of your favorite memories of the season this year? And it doesn't necessarily have to be a game that you won or lost or whatever it could be. I mean, it that certainly sticks out. But what is one of your key moments this year that you've liked?
I have really liked beating my home run record in a season because I think the most that I've had is 2. And I think having a good community
Right.
behind me has helped me a lot.
Well,
And
you
buying
broke
Coach
your home
Cox's
run
flag.
record and buying what?
Coach Cox's flag.
Look, for those that have not been, that's not old folklore either. That proudly waves out there in center field. Now, and I can neither confirm nor deny. I may have a picture of a certain broadcaster with that flag too. But is it true that y'all take that on road games with you too?
We wave it for home runs and everything.
Coach, tell me a little bit about that.
The flag's kind of funny. It's kind of one of the things. Tonight I looked out there and it wasn't out there, and I told one of the girls, so we've had it out there all year, and it is my face, and I don't like it that much, but we got to have it. It's been there all year, so you might as well keep going with us.
Well, there you absolutely have it. And, I've got to hide this a little bit better because we're starting to do this a lot more. Hallie, I said I had one last question for you, but I've got one more for you too. I know you've heard some things about what we do, and we've got an all-star game coming up at the end of the season. I know you're just learning the catcher position. I've just played it 1 year, but it's impressed us enough that we think that with the way that you handle yourself on the field and offensively, that you would be a good fit representing Glenbrook in our Pelican State Rising Stars All-Star game. And we would like to officially extend you an invitation to be a part of that game.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Now, the only thing is you don't get to play for Coach Tyler in that. He's going to be down there too, but you don't get to be on his team. Is that okay?
Yeah, as long as he's still coaching me from a distance, I'm good.
No, absolutely not. That's the reason that we don't let that happen. No. We can't do that. So it's going to be a lot of fun, without a doubt. And I just, when you homer in this, I want you just to point over there at him in the other dugout. That's what I'm going to want to see.
I might hit her every time she comes up to bat.
Look, you got to. There's no intentional walks in this. We're not going to do that. I've seen too many of these hitters getting intentionally walked, and I know that there's a situation that it's got to happen. If you've got somebody up there that's hit 3 off of you, I get all of that. We ain't doing it in the All-Star game. I can promise you that. So congratulations, Hallie, on that. And I'll get the information over to Coach. But you're going to represent Glenbrook and the Apache Nation very well. And welcome to the 2026 All-Star Game.
Thank you.
Coach, I want to appreciate everything that you've done along the way. Again, we started working on our weekend next year. We got a lot to finish up this year, but we can't wait to be in Glenbrook for the tournament next season up in Minden. So looking forward to it.
Yes, sir. We can't wait to have y'all back.
There you go. Well, Coach, go finish some business. We'll talk again over the next week or so. Probably have you on our show Wednesday. It's going to be at least a 2-hour show where we're going to dig through there, and I'm going to tell you everything that's going to happen and who's going to come out in top in every division and every classification. Now, the only good thing behind that is if I don't pick you, there's a good chance because I don't think I got it but one right last year. So there you go. So don't hold anything to it, but we'll do that show next Wednesday night. But I appreciate everything that you've done and the work that you guys have done this year. Y'all go get them.
Yes, sir. We appreciate y'all.
There you go. Head coach Tyler Cox, Hallie Sutton, our newest member of the 2026 Pelican State Rising Stars All-Star Game. Congratulations and welcome aboard. And thank you guys for being a part of tonight.
Thank you.
All right, that'll wrap that up. And so we'll go back to our game of the night that we told you. And it's hard to pick a game of the night. Tonight, it jumped out at us. And it had to jump a long way from me because it was down in Hahnville is where it was at. And when we talked to Coach Lance maybe a week or two ago, we talked about this stretch that they were going to go through. Patrick Taylor that I'm talking about. And he talked about, and that was the night that we invited Leah Godoy, the catcher, in this. And we asked her about catching Ashton Rogers and how that was. And she lit up and she beamed when she talked about the control and the type of a person that she is. And did you hear me at the first of this when I said she pitched a 1-0 game? Doug, she pitches 1-0 games. That's not a big deal. Well, this one was 16 innings. Oh, that's pretty cool. She strikes out 34 on the night. And, well, better than hear from me about it, let's bring Ashton on right now. And Ashton, first of all, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you.
Look, I want to beat around the bush and all of those things about this too, but all I can say is, wow, tell me about this night tonight.
It was definitely a dogfight for sure. Hahnville's a great team. They have great players and a good coaching staff as well. But I mean, it was awesome. Like, we really worked as a team, I felt like, and we just didn't let up. And it was just awesome. I'm still like trying to process the whole thing, but it was really great. It was so fun.
So let's set the stage now. So if you going 16 innings in itself is great. You know, London Lambert, your counterpart, who is one of our Pelican State Rising Star All-Stars, she goes 16 innings as well. That's really cool. You both throw 15 innings and allow no runs. You, of course, go 16. But then you said, look, what came up in the 16th inning? You just said, I'm tired of this. Let me go get on base.
I just remember getting really fired up after, I think it was the 15th inning or something like that.
Oh,
I remember it was a long game. But I just remember getting really fired up. And after we came out of the field, I just remember like trying to encourage my team, like, let's go, like, we got this. I just remember it. That's what I remember, so.
How did you have any energy left at that point?
My adrenaline was just going crazy. Honestly, I felt like I was getting like more and more energetic as the game went on. Like, I could have pitched this game all night, I felt like. So.
Well, you kind of did in that one too. And of course, Coach says, "Go, Ashton." There's no doubt about it. Take me through a little bit of the thing. Was there ever a point that you're in the middle of it somewhere and anybody come up to you and go, "Man, you've got this many strikeouts"? I got to believe you get lost in there and you're just going out batter by batter.
Yeah, batter by batter for sure, pitch by pitch. I had no idea that it was anything crazy like that, but my main focus was just doing what I can for my team so that we could get on offense and hopefully score a run eventually.
And look, you get on base, and here comes Leah, who does what Leah does. I mean, tell me, not only as a catcher for you, but as just a teammate and a player.
Yes, sir. I felt like that moment was just like, I felt like it was very poetic in a way. Like, oh, this is awesome. Like, Leah's picking me up, I'm picking Leah up, and when she got that RBI and I finally touched home plate, it was awesome. It's like, finally, yes.
Now, and that's the kind of thing that you go, all right, we walked it off. Let's go. Let's run around the base and do that. But wait a minute, you got to go out there and shut this team out again. So you've got to refocus and go back out there in the bottom of the 16th.
Sure. Yeah, I remember before when we went on, I remember telling the team it's not over till it's over. So we went in there acting like it was still a 0-0 game and to just finish it.
Look, it was just a 1-0 game. So
Yeah.
I get that. How just the crowd, and you probably shut a lot of that crowd out there, but do you feed off of that? Because you know that the fans are keeping track with everything. If they hang the little K's out for strikeouts, they ran out. There's no way they had that many.
It was awesome. I felt like our fans were very energetic the whole time, which helps us, and Hanville's fans as well. They were awesome. But yeah, we try to feed off stuff like that. Like, all right, let's go. They're cheering for us, so we got this.
Now, let me ask you this too, and this gets into the science of all of this. And if you've got a question for Ashton, drop it in the comments. You saw Coach Lance did that too. Whether you're watching on Facebook or on YouTube or Twitter, you can leave a message and it'll pop it up right here and do that. So make sure you do that if you've got a question for. But I want to dig down into the science a little bit of it. And you always hear that pitching baseball versus softball is completely different. And you gals can go out there and throw it, but you throw 210 pitches tonight in that game. How's the arm?
Definitely, I'm about to take an ice bath actually. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna ice. I'm gonna rest up, and I'm gonna try to be honest with myself the rest of the season so that we could prepare for playoffs.
Look, that's such a boy, and I look. That's such a mature senior-led statement. Is that you want to be honest with yourself? I know what it means to do that, but why don't you just explain to our audience what you mean by that and what that really means?
I think just knowing what, like, obviously I want to go in and play every game, but I still need to, I guess, save myself in a way so that I'm not like taking advantage of myself, and so that I can be the best that I can be for my team, and so that we can really focus on the most important goal, which is getting through playoffs.
Look, and you're doing that so well. And I love that statement on there too, because to me, it's bigger than one person's just mental state. You see so many people get in there and want to do it and end up getting hurt, and it ends up jeopardizing the rest of the season. You really look at things as a, hey, this is a big picture thing. This is not about Ashton. This is about Patrick Taylor.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Do you get a call from your college coach that you've signed with that said, hey, great job, or hey, don't throw that many pitches? What kind of phone call do you get?
He just messaged me actually after the game, told me congratulations. It was an awesome game. Yeah.
Look, if he's that college coach that's got your signature, he's fist pumping the entire time on there and just loving it. All right, take me through now the end of the game when they told you, hey, we've got you finished with 34 strikeouts. You were like, huh? Who breaks that to you?
Yeah, Coach Lance did in the team huddle after the game, and he gave me the game ball, and just said 34 strikeouts, and I was like, that's insane.
It was ridiculous. And you've had such a large number of them in your career also too. You've had such a great career. I think I saw, what was it, over 700 the other night?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and look, you may make the fastest jump from 700 to 800 in the amount of games played, and that's just incredible. Okay, as a senior, this one. This is just a win. This game is over with. Now you'll get a lot of people talk to you about it. There's no doubt about that. But what do you do to focus and to be that senior leader and gather this group up and carry on for a playoff run? Because look, there's nothing easy from here on out.
Right. Yes, sir. I think just continuing to focus, taking it one pitch at a time, one game at a time, and really living in the moment, not being so caught up in what we did bad on or what we did great in, or like being so worried about the future. Like, oh, what if we lose to this team? But really just living in the moment is what helps us succeed as a team. So that's the main thing, really.
You know, you guys are sitting in fourth right now, I believe was what I saw in the last. I want get updated on that and see if anything has changed, because I don't want to misquote on there too. And I know there's not a lot of, and Coach Lance is probably sitting there grinding his teeth not to think about it. But you turn around in just a couple of days, I guess Thursday night, and you've got another battle with Chappelle, which is going to be another big test for you. What is it about this 3-game stretch with Destrehan, Hanville, Chappelle, Dominican even in there that says, hey, you know what? The rest of the world may not know who Patrick Taylor is. And look, and I know I'm bringing a lot to you in this question, so we'll break it up in parts. But outside of Avondale and West Wego and the West Bank, maybe folks don't know Patrick Taylor. So 2-part question. What do you do to finish strong? But what do you do? What are you trying to prove to the rest of the state of Louisiana that says, hey, you better take a look down here at the team in blue?
So I guess to answer the first question, this is really just like a test of our mentality. I think mainly the mental aspect, because softball and really any sport, it's really mental. So I guess just continuing to put up a fight and not giving in to the pressure, or just really focusing in on the moment that we're living. And I know I keep saying that, but that's really what we try to live by as a team. And we just try to take pride in the fact that we're Patrick Taylor and our area. Just enjoy it and to just make a name for ourselves, because why not us? So yeah.
Look, that's and you saw that message from Cam Goodman there says, so proud of you. So, and those messages are starting to pop up. And if you have some well wishes, we'll get that out there as well. Did you have, when Leah was on, I guess last week, it was, she had that same sentiment, it was, hey, why not us? Why not come out there? Because make no mistake about it, in your division, you know where the eyes are at. They're up there at number 1, and the team's only undefeated team. But I don't think you guys have a lot of, I mean, you have respect, but I don't think that you're looking at that with any type of fear at all.
Oh yeah, like just, hey, why not? I feel like when we go into games like that, for example, we kind of feel like, oh, the pressure's on the other team because we have nothing to lose, but we feel like those other teams do, I guess, in a way. So
do you think they overlook you a little bit because it's just little old Patrick Taylor?
Maybe sometimes, but I think a lot of these teams go in, all these teams are very smart and they know who they're going against. But I think in some cases, in a way, yes.
Well, look, you take whatever it is with you and just and gather that up and go. That's for sure. All right. Big week. We said Dominican was there. Destrehan was there. Another one. The big game tonight. You got to turn around Thursday and come back and face the Chips, which I know is a big rivalry for you
Yes,
because you're so close. How do you turn around and get ready for that and flush this one?
Just, I keep saying it, but live in the moment. Like, just prepare yourself and just continue to be competitive, because we don't like losing. So
I love that. I want a team that hates to lose more than they love to win.
Absolutely.
And that's a team. So 2 things that I pick up from this that's going to make you successful as you move on: live in the moment,
yes,
and that ice bath.
Oh yeah.
That's 2 things that's going to do it. Well, Ashton, we appreciate you taking time with us. What an incredible performance tonight. No doubt about it. And man, I can't wait to see how you go back out and follow that up again.
Thank you so much.
No, it's great. You got a spot here anytime. And Coach Lance, I know you're on there watching. Be proud of the young ladies. They're performing like Patrick Taylor is, and why not us? There you go. All right, that's going to wrap it up. Thank you very much, Ashton. We'll let you go, and we'll visit with you again soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
All right, you got it. What a tremendous, tremendous young lady that was on there. And we saw some of the comments. We got this one in from Ms. Inslee that says, what an honor for Hallie. That was to our guest from a little bit earlier. If you've got a score or you've got something to report, this part of the show is going to be about you. We did get a message on our messenger earlier, and let me go over to it and read that. It says, a big district win for Avoyelles Public Charter tonight. Let's see what they did. I thought I saw that game was 15-0. Janiah Heath pitched a shutout over 4 innings, had 8 strikeouts, also had a grand slam with the 4 RBI and scored 3 runs. So Janiah Heath is going to be a great one. There is absolutely no doubt about it. Just an 8th grader there for Coach Thomas Scully and the Avoyelles Charter Lady Vikings. Let's take a look now at some of those power rankings that we told you about. And look, join us each night. We're going to be here as the Dash for Frash is fired up. But next Wednesday, the pairings come out and the playoffs start right after that. Can you believe that the playoffs are starting next week? Next weekend is when that'll happen. Final regular season day to play is on Tuesday. So there'll be games all throughout the weekend, and then there'll be games on Monday and Tuesday as well. And that's it. The 57 days of the regular season are gone. You heard us talk about it way back when we were there at the Avoyelles Parish Jamboree, how this was going to go fast. And now we're at about day 52, I think it is. Let's look over in Division I Select. Let's take Select right now, and we're going to go through the top 8 teams because those teams really won't say that somebody from a lower spot can't win that, but you've got home games, you've got buys, you've got seeding, you've got all of those things that you battle for. And so let's look at Select Division I. All the while, if you've got a comment or a report about a game tonight, make sure you drop it in the comments as well. And then when all of this is done, we're going to get back to making our graphics and get those posted. Did I mention Ashton had 34 strikeouts tonight? My goodness, I think we did. So Division I, and this Carmel is up again, 30.14 to 30.10 in that when the Lady Rebels are there. Right behind it, North Shore's representing Archbishop Chappelle. The Chips are there, and that team is going to play Patrick Taylor. Coach Scott O'Brien in that group. Mia Impastato is there. Taylor Allen, big group, is going to be there. Ponchatoula sitting there at 4. Abby Dagro, Lily Verga, many others there on that Lady Wave team. John Curtis, oh, by the way, defending state champions, they're sitting there at 5. 4-5 matchups are one that you want to look at because 4 is home in the quarterfinals, 5 is on the road, and we've seen big things happen. Just if you look at that one, that's a match, and that one's not that terrible, but Ponchatoula and John Curtis sitting there. You want the home game to get you to Frash. If you West coaches, they won't talk to you about it. We'll talk to you about it. Rounding things out at 6 is Alexandria. They took one on the chin tonight. They lose to West Monroe. Tioga drops one tonight, too, and Turlings Catholic is sitting there at 8. And that is Division I Select. Over in Division II, this is the one that we were talking about with the Lady Tigers of Patrick Taylor. Vanderbilt Catholic, the lone remaining undefeated team. They sit at 23-0. Calvary drops their 30-game win streak to start the season. They hadn't lost in nearly 365 calendar days. West Monroe is the team that beats them. They're pretty good. Don't sleep on them. We'll get over to West Monroe. We told you about. You want to keep an eye on it. Hannon is there tonight. Hannon sits at 3. Patrick Taylor sits at 4. There's a big gap between Patrick Taylor and Hannon. So you say, well, if they beat them, how come they don't jump them? It comes down to a lot of things that you have to extrapolate out, and it's wins and it's losses and it's power rankings. And it's probably time that the LHSAA did some tweaking on these power rankings because you do see some jockeying that goes on towards the tail end of the season, fighting for a move up or to stay where you're at. And those things kind of happen. St. Charles sits in 5th. St. Charles, the Lady Comets are there. St. Michael is there at 6. Coach Justin Keys, Buckeye, and a loaded Buckeye Lady Panthers team sits at 7. Haynes Academy, another one of those that Patrick Taylor said was one of their rivals, is there at number 8. Let's move down to Division III, and that's one that Calvary has owned for the last 5 years. It's different to look there and see their record have a 1 in the loss column this year. Probably the best team that Calvary has had in their run of state championships. That just goes to show you how well that West Monroe team is playing. Kenzie Anderson and the Lady Cavs bounce back tonight. They take a 2-0 game over Class B team ranked number 1, Stanley, the Lady Panthers. And I tell you what, Stanley will gladly take a 2-0 game if you signed up for that a little bit earlier. Kenzie Anderson pitches the entire way and homers in the game. So look, there's a power outage there, but great work by Stanley to keep that game at 2-0. Parkview Baptist, on the strength of 2 great young pitchers, Jalea Slaughter is there, Emery Lacey is there. You've got a core group, and Coach Ashley Ducote and those ladies are firing away. They're poised to say, you know what? And look, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, they don't care about the last 5 that Calvary's won. All they care about is this season. Notre Dame, Coach Del Sarra, in that group, lurking back at number 3. I don't know if there's enough time for them to catch number 2. Parkview sits at 33.31 in the power ranking. And then Coach David DeMoss and that Darbone Woods charter team, Jolie Bennett, Kinsley Isaac, that group, Zachary, the pitcher, they're another one that is loaded. Oh, by the way, North Lake Christian, St. Louis Catholic, St. Thomas Aquinas, and there's Coach Kate Hillman and Bunkie making their way up to number 8. So that's where you want to be. Down in Division 4, Riverside Academy and Glenbrook. You know, we talked to Coach Tyler Cox and Hallie Sutton a little bit earlier from Glenbrook. They sit at number 2, 1.5 points behind Riverside right now. Riverside, they knocked off Patrick Taylor earlier this season. Covenant Christian sits at 3. Central Private, you'll remember those if you watch our broadcast. They, a very young team, dropped a playoff quarterfinal game, I think it was, maybe a regional round game, to Menard, who went on to eventually win the state championship. But that Central Private team, pretty good. Ascension Catholic sits at 5, Sacred Heart at 6, Ouachita Christian at 7, and St. John is there at number 8. So that gives you a good idea. Let's check and see the comments that are coming in. You guys, go ahead and leave your comment. Let us know. This show is about you. And if you saw a pitching performance, if you saw a hitting performance tonight that we need to know about, make sure you let us know. Let's jump over now to the select side. Nope, we were just there, weren't we? So let's go back to the non-select side of it. And Walker has held on to number 1 all season long. They sit at 20-3 and went through a 3-game stretch where they beat the likes of Santa Maria, East Ascension, and I'd have to look back at who the other one was. It's hard to keep up with all of them on there. Sam Houston sits at number 2. Of course, they've got the Texas signee, Aubrey Porche, that is there. Layla Landry, one of the best catchers in the state of Louisiana, is the catcher for Sam Houston. They're the defending state champions, so they're getting poised to make a run. They sit at 22-3 on the season. Santa Maria, Coach Petrie and that group ready to go to work. They are in 3. East Ascension is there at 4. West Monroe, told you we'd talk about them. They're lurking around there, led by Evie and Ava West that is out there. Bree Norrell, Norl. She homered last night, had a 2-run home run. Evie West had a home run last night and pitched the game. You'll see Evie and Ava pitch a lot in that game, and there are a number of others, but that just gives you a highlight. Evie comes back with a couple of more home runs tonight in that win over Ash. Destrehan sits at number 6. Aaron Gidrose, Peyton Anthony, and that group from Natchitoches Central, they're sitting there at 7. You heard Coach Tyler Cox talk about the shortstop that was making all the plays tonight. That's Natchitoches Central's Peyton Anthony, and she is a 2026 Rising Stars All-Star as well. Hanville rounds things out at number 8. That takes us to, let's jump down. Boy, everything's just not Division I, Doug. Remember, you guys got to remind me of that. It's not just about Division I. Division II is where North DeSoto sits across the top. Now, North DeSoto, 21-7, a large number of losses for this North DeSoto team. You say, well, how are they sitting there with 7 losses and they're at number 1? Because they beat a lot of good people too. They've got a freshman flamethrower, Macy Cameron, that is in there that's just as solid as they get. Leighton Ross, big slugger. They're going to look to defend their state championship that they won in a walk-off bunt last year in Frash. You remember that? I know you do. Lutcher, they're at number 2. Bruley is sitting at 3. North Vermilion may just be the sleeper team. I don't want to give everything away, but you don't want to have the Lady Patriots of North Vermilion on your schedule right now. They are playing as good as anyone, not just in Division II, but anywhere in the state of Louisiana. Remember what I'm telling you, North Vermilion. Guys, do not take the chalk in the divisions. Don't just say when the brackets come out, I want number one, number one, number one, number one. That's going to get you in trouble this year because there's going to be some upsets. Iota sits at 5. Lakeshore is 6. Grant, by way of their win tonight, they knock off Coach Ronnie Abels in Winfield. Winfield had a big win last night over Parkway. Couldn't get it done tonight. Peyton Kirtland throws a tremendous game in the circle for Grant. Audley Carpenter, who is the sophomore outfielder for them, another one of our rising stars. But Coach Jessica Cooper always has a way to get Grant ready to go. They're sitting there at number 7, and Iowa right there at number 8. They hit the ball well. They throw the ball well. Keep an eye on them. Let's move to Division III. Gina, Kiet Cooper and company, they win tonight, and Kiet doesn't pitch, and they have a big win. Let me pull that up and just let you know who they played tonight. If it's up, they beat was that game tonight? Yeah, they beat Tioga tonight 16-3. And we told you where Tioga was at. Tioga was up there lurking in the top of the divisions. Gina hits the ball. Kiet homers tonight. Callie Decker homered tonight. So a lot of big things for Coach Sarah Roark and the Gina Lady Giants. Kaplan, Coach LaBeouf, anytime they get out there, they're going to be ready to go. We can pump up the Gina mystique as much as anybody wants to. Let me tell you, teams that aren't concerned about it, respect it. Don't get me wrong in saying, oh, they don't respect it. Yes, they do. They all do. Game recognizes game. But they're not giving it to these 2, 3, 4, 5 seeds. They're not bowing down. They're not rolling over and giving this to that 1 seed already. Kaplan sits at number 2. Coach Blake West, Malloy Miles in that group. If you haven't heard what she does, the Ole Miss commit is solid. She's in that all-star game as well. Pine Prairie is there. They're looking to return back to Fresh. Coach Elisa Hebert and in that group looking to get back to Fresh. Coach Ronnie Abels, we told you about, and Winfield, they're sitting at 5. Sterlington is there. Berwick at number 7, and Coach Booker at number 8 in Manny. Manny's played some tough teams this season. They sit at 16-11. You don't want to draw Manny in the playoffs. Larkay Carter in that group, they're ready to go. Let's move down to number 4. And Landry Long, you know what she did? State championship. Now head coach is her dad that's there. This group from LaSalle looks poised to do it again. Coach Kyle Creech in Logansport says, not so fast. Ainsley Morvan, 2 games, 4 home runs on Saturday. That's right, 4 home runs. That gives her the state lead, and I think it may even be top 1 or 2 in the nation. Ainsley Morvan, sophomore. She's a good one. Oak Grove is there. Congratulations to Caroline Bradley. She committed in basketball to LSU. You don't need me to tell you that. She's probably maybe the best player in the state and the country when it comes to basketball. She's a good one, and she's going down to Kim Mulkey and company in Baton Rouge. Maryville sits at 4. Lakeside at number 5. Mangum is at 6. DeQuincy at 7. And Delcom, DELCAMBRE, Delcom is at number 8. Oakdale on the outside, district champs in their division. That Oakdale team is going to be a good one as well. That'll take us down to the classifications of B and C. And I know the voice is struggling a little bit as the season rolls on, but it has been a traumatic, frenetic dash for Fresh, I can assure you. But we, like Guard said, we ain't going down till the sun comes up. Stanley leads the way in Class B. They've been there all year long. Stanley has 35.63 power ranking, lost tonight. And they gained points on there because they lose a 2-0 game to Calvary. Gave Calvary everything that they wanted in this on that one. Tremendous 16 strikeout performance by Calvary. But the Stanley Page, oh gosh, dog, I'm going to get this wrong if I don't get it right. You saw what I did there. I'm going to get it wrong if I don't get it right. Paige Campbell, I think, is that young lady's name, but I don't ever want to misquote something on it. So I'm going to cheat, and I'm going to jump in to, and I know there may be people that are telling me already, but I'm going to jump in here because I don't want to tell you anything that's wrong. Paige Campbell is who it was. So see, there you go. Quitman sits at number 2. Hicks is number 3, Anacoco. Hicks and Anacoco, Anacoco and Hicks. Those two have been flip-flopping the entire way. You won't catch 1 and 2 over the last bit of season that's on there, but it's whether Anacoco and Zwali are going to be there, who sits at number 5, or Zwali jumps over Anacoco. Boy, there's some good Class B softball that's going on. A lot of real good teams that are there. And look, this is before all of the games are put into the system. So when you look at it in the morning, this could change. Zwali there at 5. Bell City Bombers. They win the state championship in basketball. Great job by Bell City. Family Community, Florine, the Lady Cats, and Mount Herman. Actually, Florine makes it number 8. Let's move down to Class C. Northside Christian has been there the entire way. So far, they've led. They are 4 percentage points. Nobody's going to catch them for number 1, no matter what happens the rest of the way. But then the playoffs start. Maurepas sits at number 2. Hackberry at 3. Claiborne Christian is 4. Ebarb, Summerfield, False River, and Plainview round things out. It has been a thrilling night of it. I'm going to jump in and see if I can find some more of the scores for you to go over again. If you've got one that you want to talk about, send me a comment in there. Don't send it by our messenger right now because I'm not really checking those. Looking around, an 8-7 game, False River beats Avoyles. You know, we saw a game the other night that combined for 40 walks in it. Woodlawn and Baton Rouge beats Family Christian tonight, 27-13. Got to think that was a long one. Singer and Hackberry. Hackberry wins that game. Let's get down into Class B. We told you about Avoyles Charter. They beat Monterey 15-0 in that district game. Congratulations to head coach Thomas Scully. Congratulations to the young lady, Janiyah Heath, the 8th grader, grand slam in that, and pitched all 4 innings of that one. Grace Christian takes care of Harrisonburg. Oak Hill knocks off Glenmora 10-9. That was a battle, to say the least. It was. We moved down into Class 5 or into 5A. Chappelle and Houma Christian. It was all Chappelle in that one. The Chips looking for that big matchup Thursday night against Patrick Taylor. Dominican and De La Salle, no report on those guys yet. We told you the Hanville game, that ended 1-0. Pineville and Neville, Lady Rebels win that one 21-5. They took care of business there. Ponchatoula does the same. They hold serve, knock off Holden 16-0. Ruston and Ouachita, always a battle in football. Tonight it was Ouachita Parish on top of Ruston 8-3 in that game. We told you Southside and Lauraville earlier at the top. Lauraville wins that 8-7, another big game. Santa Monica drops 1 to Dutchtown. And, boy, that's a tough loss. Big win for Dutchtown. Dutchtown wins that 12-11. Walker and Hannon. Walker wins that one big. That's a big win for Walker to win that one 12-2. Again, Walker continues to roll in this one, and they've been number 1 all season long. In 4A, let's take a look down there. Eunice and Rain. Eunice wins that one 8-3. Grant, we told you about, knocks off Winfield 10-3 in that game. Peyton Kirtland did what she does. North DeSoto and Darbone Woods 3-2 in that game. I don't have the statistics yet for Macy Cameron in that game, but let's look her up and see what she did. Macy Cameron, that freshman phenom, the Baby Griffins, they call them. Let's say, I appreciate you guys bearing with us, but I mean, folks, they just came at us quick tonight, but I want to give you all of the insight. Curtis leads off. She goes 2 for 3, has a home run in that game, and that did it. Macy Cameron, 7 innings pitched, 14 strikeouts. We told you it'd be a big night for her. And let's see if we can maybe get an update on where she's at for the season. She does it with the bat, and she does it there. 19 wins on the season. And let's see where her 247 strikeouts on the season for Macy Cameron. North Vermilion, we told you, is doing North Vermilion stuff. Zoe Harrington continues to excel out of the catcher spot and hammers the softball. Harrington, not He. If you know, you know. That's what they told me, at least. Anyway, making our way down, Turlings Catholic and Hanson Memorial. Turlings Catholic with a shutout win, 9-0 in that one. Moving down, and I know you guys can look through a lot of this. We'll jump through. Gina with a big 16-3 win over Tioga. We told you about that. Pine Prairie and Mamu. Pine Prairie with a 10-0 shutout in that game. St. Louis Catholic and Kinder. St. Louis Catholic wins that 10-0. Ville Platte, they drop one 14-1 to Church Point. Drop down to 2A. Calvary and Stanley, 2-0. We told you about that. North DeSoto, Darbone, that one as well. French Settlement, 8-4. It went over a big team in Mandeville. So that was a big one for Coach Blake West and company. Looking forward to talking to him next Wednesday. Again, I can't tell you, that show next week may be 3 hours. Just join in with us and we'll keep you entertained. One of the surprises of this season, Port Barry, no report on that one, but really struggled last year to defensively fill the ball, have done a much better job this season, and it's shown in the rankings, and they've won more games than they've lost, and that's certainly good to see. We'll wrap up 1A tonight, and that will finish things off for us. Let's look around. Cedar Creek and Oak Grove. Oak Grove wins that one 7-3. Glenbrook Natchitoches Central, we told you, we talked to Coach Cox earlier. They dropped that one 7-3 after leading 3-0 going into the fifth inning. So sometimes just falls apart. It was a big 5-run sixth inning for Natchitoches Central that did it. Let me see if anything else jumps at me here. St. Ed's knocks off Northside Christian in that one, 7-5. St. Mary's with a big win. Vermilion Catholic wins 15-0 over Gaydon. Westminster Christian wins, and Madison Prep knocks off White Castle. So before the voice just finally goes away, I think that is going to do it for us tonight. Unless there's any questions that you guys have. Big slate of games tomorrow. Let's quickly, before we get you out of here, we're going to go. Have I said that about 10 times tonight before we get you out of here? Let's take a look and just scan this for games that are going on tomorrow. There won't be a lot of them on the schedule. You're starting to see games get postponed and pushed aside. East Ascension plays Ascension Catholic, and let's see. Let's look down here and see if anything really jumps out at us. And look, if I miss your game, I'm not saying that. Look, Hannon and Riverside Academy, that's a big one tomorrow. Keep your eyes out on that one. E.D. White, Shelby Grow and Company will take on H.L. Bourgeois. And that one, Lutcher is set to do battle. North Vermilion back out. Turlings Catholic right back at it. They'll play Central Baton Rouge, not Central Private that we talked about, but Central of Baton Rouge. And we'll keep an eye on that. And we may try to visit with Turlings coach after that game tomorrow night. Bunkie has a doubleheader. They play Northwood Lena, and then they've got a big one with Glen Mora. They play that at 4 and 6. So folks are piling in the games. Burley and Doyle is one to look at. Notre Dame and Jennings, without a doubt. You'll want to do that. Sinuses are getting us too. Oakdale entertains Ville Platte. See if anything we told you about that. Oakdale in there. Guys, I think that pretty much wraps up the coverage for tonight. I don't know that there's anything else. I'm sure we're missing some home runs and some big pitching performances, but you guys stick around on there. It is going to be a frenetic pace. Congratulations to Hallie Sutton from Glenbrook. She is the next member of our 2026 Rising Stars All-Star Softball game. She comes in as a catcher on there, and they told us you got to have plenty of catchers. We've got that. Our pitchers and catchers are solid. Finishing that out, we've got we've got over half of our invitees. So over the next 14 to 17 days, you'll see that roster fill up. So if you haven't gotten your invitation yet, don't worry, that doesn't mean it. But we've already started working on next year's game as well in this. Went and visited with the Louisiana Christian University folks. They're delighted to have us on campus. We're delighted to be there here in Central Louisiana. Going to be a lot of fun. We'll start visiting with our head coaches a little bit more on there. Coach David DeMoss from Darbone is one of the head coaches. Coach Thomas Scully, Coach Jeremy Harper, Coach Alicia Hebert. And then we'll fill in the assistant coaches. We've got that made. They're all ready. We'll start putting up posts about those as well. If you ever have any questions, shoot us an email here on the comment side of it, or you can email us directly at info at 446Sports. Guys, that is going to wrap up a hour-long episode of the Pelican Softball Report. The Dash for Fresh is in full effect. I am your host, Doug Gann, and man, it has been my pleasure. I'm going to go rest this voice a little bit, but I'll see you back here tomorrow night, same time, 9 o'clock, when we talk about softball all around the great Pelican State. So for our guests that were on here, Coach Tyler Cox, Hallie Sutton, Ashton Rogers, did I mention 34 strike? I think I did. That's not the record for most in a game. 60 is the record for most in a game, but that was in a 30-inning, 60 strikeouts in a game. My goodness. She wins that one 1-0. 210 pitches. London Lambert throws 185. 395 pitches combined between the two players on there. That means Ice Bath. 34-12, 46 strikeouts on the night between the two of them. Can't wait for tomorrow. Get some rest. We'll see you back here at 9 o'clock tomorrow night. I am Doug Gann. God bless you all, and good night.